Once again, a very good morning to everyone. And today's keyword is overthinking. So let me ask you something. How many of you have ever replayed a conversation in your head for days? You know the one like where you said something and now you are analyzing every word, every pause, every facial expression the other person made. For example, like, did I sound stupid? Did they think I was rude? Or should I have said it differently? Or let me share another one. You're lying in bed at 2 a.m. and your brain suddenly decides it's the perfect time to review every life decision you have ever made and worry about 17 things that might happen next week. Sounds familiar? So, that's because most of us aren't just thinking, we are overthinking. And there's a huge difference. So, today we are going to talk about transforming overthinking into clarity. Let me tell you, overthinking is the mind spinning without direction. So, clarity is stillness with purpose. And most of us have become professional overthinkers without even realizing it. And we think we are being thoughtful, careful, responsible, and we even think we are just processing or being thorough. But actually, we are stuck in a loop, spinning our wheels, going nowhere. Let me tell you about Priya. She's been wanting to start a small business for 2 years. She has the idea, the skills, even some initial clients were interested in a business. But she hasn't started. Why? Because she's still thinking, what if it fails? What if people judge me? What if I'm not ready? What if I invest money and it doesn't work? What if my family thinks I'm being irresponsible? What if I regret not trying? What if? On and on and on. And 2 years stuck in her head. Meanwhile, her colleague with half her skills and twice her confidence already launched something and is learning as she goes. So here is the uncomfortable truth. Overthinking is not about being smart or careful. Overthinking is fear trying to control outcomes. So your brain thinks that if it can just analyze enough, plan enough, worry enough, it can prevent bad things from happening. It's trying to protect you. But instead of keeping you safe, it's keeping you stuck. Think about it. When you overthink, are you making better decisions? Or are you just exhausting yourself, confusing yourself, and taking or talking yourself out of things you actually want to do? So, let me give you a classic scenario. You need to have a difficult conversation with your mom in law. Maybe she keeps making comments about your parenting, or even your career choices, or how you run your home. This is very familiar. So, what do you think? You overthink it. You script the entire conversation in your head. You anticipate what she'll say. You rehearse your responses. You imagine 17 different ways it could go wrong. And you spend 3 days mentally preparing for a 5-minute conversation. And when the actual conversation happens, it goes nothing like you imagined. All that mental rehearsal, wasted energy. Because overthinking doesn't prepare you for reality, it just drains you before reality even arrives. Let me tell you about Rahul. He's a 35-year-old software engineer who was offered a job in another city. Better pay, better role, great opportunity. But he's been overthinking for weeks. Should I take it? What if I don't like the new city? What if the team isn't good? What if I leave this job and regret it? But what if I don't take it and regret that? What if the new company isn't as stable? What if, what if, what if? His wife finally asked him, have you even visited the city? Talked to people on the team? Checked out the area? No, I'm still thinking about whether I should. You see the problem? He's trying to think his way to certainty. But certainty doesn't come from more thinking, it comes from action. So here is what overthinking actually looks like in real life. The teenager who spends hours crafting the perfect Instagram caption because they are overthinking how people will perceive them. The mother who can't make simple decisions like what to cook for dinner because she's overthinking everyone's preferences, dietary needs, yesterday's complaints, and tomorrow's meal plan. The professionals who's been stuck on the first side of the, or let's say the first slide of presentation for an hour because they are overthinking how to make it perfect. So overthinking is not productivity. It's actually paralysis. You are just stuck where you are. So how do you transform overthinking into clarity? So here's the secret, and it's going to sound too simple to work, but I promise you it does. So clarity comes from grounding, not more thinking. So when you're stuck in your head, you need to get into your body. When you're lost in analysis, you need to come back to the present moment. Like write, move, breathe, don't ruminate. So writing gets the thoughts out of your head onto paper. Once they're external, you can see them clearly. Most overthinking happens in a loop. The same thoughts cycling endlessly. But when you write them down, the loop breaks. You can see what's real, what's just fear dressed up as logic. Then movement. Movement shifts your energy. So when you're stuck in your head, go for a walk, do 10 jumping jacks, stretch, dance to one song. Physical movements tells your brain we are doing something, not just thinking about doing something. And often clarity comes when you stop trying to force it and just move. And then breathing. Breathing brings you back to now. Overthinking is always about the past or the future. What I do wrong, what might go wrong. But breathing only happens in the present moment. And let me tell you, we should be very thankful that we are able to breathe, right? So give importance to that. So when you focus on your breath, even for 1 minute, you interrupt the overthinking cycle. And yeah, the most important shift, trust action over analysis. See, overthinking wants all the answers before you take the first step. But life doesn't work that way. You learn by doing, not by endlessly preparing to do. That business idea, start small, talk to one potential customer, create one sample, take one tiny action, and you learn more in 1 day of doing that than 6 months of thinking. That difficult conversation, stop rehearsing and just have it. Real conversations are messy, unpredictable, and human. And that's okay. That decision you've been agonizing over, make a choice, any choice, because even a wrong choice teaches you something and moves you forward. Staying stuck teaches you nothing. So, overthinking gives you the illusion of control, but action gives you actual progress. I'm not saying don't think, but I'm saying know the difference between thinking and overthinking. Thinking is productive, it has a purpose, it moves toward a decision or solution. But overthinking, it's repetitive, it goes in circles, it creates anxiety, not answers. Thinking asks, what do I need to know to make this decision? Overthinking, it says, but what if, but what if, but what if? So thinking has an end point. Overthinking is endless. So here's my beautiful thought for you today. See, your mind is a brilliant tool, but it's a terrible master. When you overthink, your mind is running the show. So when you find clarity, you are. Overthinking will steal your peace, your time, your confidence, and your opportunities if you let it. But you don't have to let it. Make a conscious decision to stop overthinking. Clarity is always available to you, not by thinking harder, but by grounding deeper, not by analyzing more, but by trusting yourself more. So, here is your exercise for the day, and this is really very, very powerful. So, I would request all of you to take out a piece of paper, yeah, your notepad, and you don't have to write on Google, but on actual paper. Yes, right now. So you can definitely don't need to write complete sentences, even small phrases will work. So, step one, write down everything you are currently overthinking. Every worry, every what if, every decision you're stuck on. Get it all out. Don't edit, don't judge, just dump in onto the page. I'll give you a few seconds to write it down. Yeah. You don't have to judge yourself, whatever comes to your mind, whatever decisions you are stuck, not taking, just write them down on paper. You can write phrases also just to help you understand, okay, what you're talking about or what you're thinking. And once you are done, you can definitely post it in the mess chat that I've done so that I get to know that you have completed the first step. Thank you. Thank you, Malika ji. Of course, I will be needing more answers, more completions, acknowledgements. Thank you. Thank you, Deepti ji. Thank you, Suji. Mhm. Okay. Now, moving on to step number two. Look at this list, read it once, and circle only the things you can actually control, not those things you want to control or the things, only the ones you have control over. Because you cannot control what other people think. So we have control only on our actions, our words, our choices. So I can say You can control your actions, your words, your choices. So only circle those things what you have written, right? Because, and definitely, you cannot control outcomes. So circle what you can control, your effort, your preparation, your response. So once that is done, we move on to step number three, that from the things you circled, choose one small action you can take today. I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm not talking about next week, but today. You might want to send an email to somebody. That can be a small action. You want to talk to somebody, go into a conversation with someone. Please give a call, sit down with them, connect. One decision you want to make, you've been thinking for days, for weeks, अब ये करूंगी, अब ये होना है. One tiny step forward and then do it, because that's how you transform overthinking into clarity. Not by thinking your way out, but by acting your way through. See, your overthinking isn't a personality trait you're stuck with, it's a habit you can change. And it starts with one simple shift: stop spinning, and I would say start moving. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.